Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, the nefarious, the incredibly good looking, the totally awesome Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, folks. Yukon Socket. Tell your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I am bringing to you a deck of my own creation, which I've entitled Forget Me Not. So the deal is that I had a deck a long time ago, which I loved when I first got into MTGA, and it was called Forget You. And it basically, it has a lot of discard early in the game. By mid-game, you're beating around to a bunch of creature kill. And at the end, we would have some pretty big creatures like, Warden of the West Gate, and I don't know. Just, you'd have some big black creatures that got really big. I don't know, like nightmares that, like for the number of lands you had, it would be that large. Thing is, though, is that when I tried to rebuild it in this thing, that final piece has kind of evaded me at the moment. But so what I did is I remade that deck using modern cards, and then I had to play test like crazy and tried to find the right balance, and I ended up violating some of my major rules. Like, some of my major rules are that you should try to have 4 of everything. You should have like 9 cards, 4 of everything, and that should be it, because that should be enough to play a game. I ended up with a truckload of 2s, mostly because I really appreciated what the cards did, but I wasn't willing to give them up, but I needed to put something else in. And as I've played this deck, as it is, it's actually performed fairly well. So I'm left it in for now, but I think with more gameplay, we can maybe tighten it up a little bit, get rid of some of these 2s, maybe turn them more into 4s. Hard to say. This is kind of a test bed, but as it plays right now, it's still pretty decent. So let's take a look at the cards. We'll try to figure out, I'll try to point out what I'm trying to do with them, and then we'll take it out and see how well it plays. At the low end, we got Corrupt Court Official. So this is just your standard 2-drop, enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. That's what it is. And we got another one of those, which is the Virus Beetle. Same thing. Technically, Virus Beetle is better because it affects each opponent, while Corrupt Court Official affects a targeted opponent. But in, MTGA standard, it's the same card, essentially. So we've got 6 of those. In the same price range here, we got the Raven Man. And the Raven Man is pretty sweet for discarding because when he comes out, he's a 2/1. And then at the end of the turn, if a player discarded a card this turn, then you create a single black Raven token who cannot block. He's a 1/1. So that's okay. He's a 2/1. You got a guy. It'd be great if he had first strike. But anyways, but he just sits there and waits for things to be discarded. Now, when you get to 4 mana, you can tap him to force an opponent to discard. So he is a mid-game discard engine is what he is. But before that, if you're working with the Corrupt Court Official and the Virus Beetle, he'll start giving you these additional Raven tokens per game or per round. Oh, okay, that's cool that the Raven butt goes all the way to the... Oh, no, that's an actual Raven's face on the other side. I'm going to say it looks like it bleeds all the way through from one side to the other. But I'd move my mouse over there, but he'd disappear. But it turns out that, no, that's the Raven, smaller Raven's face coming out on the other side. So anyways, that's the combo. That's the synergy that's going on there at the beginning of the game. It'll give you a little bit extra to play with there. We got Extract the Truth, which also works great with the Raven Man. As in, target opponent reveals their hand, you choose a creature, enchantment, or planeswalker, and you tell them to discard it. Now you can also, if they have an enchantment out, you can force them to sacrifice an enchantment of their choice. Hopefully the enchantments that are out all suck, and whatever they pick is good, because you don't get to choose which one, but still it's something. We got Infernal Grasp in here. I tried playing with other black. This is the one I ended up going for just because it was the cheapest. It still worked. You lose 2 life, but hopefully you'll be able to afford it. I think we got some life gain in here because it seemed to me that I was gaining a ton of life. Oh, sorry, Shieldred is who does it. And also Meathook Massacre. But anyway, so that will help to offset that lose 2 life thing, will be the life gain that we'll encounter later on. But to take out a target creature, it does not take out planeswalkers. Okay, so nothing for planeswalkers at the moment. We got the Curse of the Shaken Faith. So this is where I'm getting into the tempo more. Because we got tempo black, which is just discarding. When we force them to discard, they have less opportunities. Actually, I guess it's more card advantage, but tempo. So let me keep that in mind. But this is tempo here because they can only play 1 card per turn. For every card they play beyond their first, they take 2 points of damage. That's less life that they'll have to work with. This could be dropped potentially. It's just that it is a good card and does help to keep things humming right along. The Meathook Massacre, it's tempo because you just put it out there even for 0. Every time one of your creatures dies, they lose 1 life. Anytime an opponent's creature dies, you gain life. And if you could wipe the board or wipe out a bunch of creatures when you put it out, the better off you'll be, right? We got the Gravelighter. And see, this was basically the Plague Crafter was the original guy. I got the Gravelighter in here. Same cost, 3 mana. He's 2/2 and he's a flyer, which is great. Having a nice flying guy, right? When he enters the battlefield, you draw a card if another creature died this turn already. So card draw. Otherwise, each player sacrifices a creature. Now, you may end up having to sacrifice a Gravelighter. Maybe you got one of these other guys, like a Court Official. Because you know what a Court Official is worth to you after he comes into play? Practically nothing. He's a great guy to just sacrifice. Same thing with the Virus Beetle. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Gravelighter will take use of that. That way you're left with a 2/2 flying dude, and your opponent will have to sacrifice somebody else. Here's Hidetsugu Consumes All. I just seem to think that this card was way more expensive than it is, but it's only 3. Destroy each non-land permanent with a mana value of 1 or less. Someone's playing tokens, like token creatures, they're all gone. Just completely gone. Because it's mana value, no matter how big they are. Like if they're like the tree folk from Ren and 7, gone. If they have 1 trillion treasure tokens, gone. So this will wipe out a bunch of stuff. The thing is that a lot of decks don't have anything. So that first step doesn't get you anywhere. This would be a great card to have read ahead on. Read ahead would be great. Exile graveyards. If you're playing with somebody that's playing out of the graveyard a lot, fantastic. And lastly, you got a 3/3 Trampler. Whenever it deals damage, not to just the player, but to creatures, then you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And whenever it deals damage to a player, if it dealt 10 or more damage to that player this turn, that player loses the game. So this is an incredible card. It just takes some warming up is the problem. And in my experience, it's going to be dead long before it even happens. So it's one of those things you kind of put out, people freak out about a lot, and mostly it just buys you time, provided that they're not traveling faster than what this card can move at. We got Ob Nixilis in here. I really love this particular Planeswalker. I like the fact that he's got Casualty, and so therefore you can pick something to sacrifice to it, and then you can double up on this guy. Most likely you're going to be picking Corrupt Court Official or a Virus Beetle, so therefore you're going to have a dude that only has 1. But that's fine, because what you'll do is you'll use the true Ob Nixilis to create the Devil token, and you'll use the copy to make them lose 2 life unless they discard a card. But here we are discarding again, which is going to help the Raven Man to create a Raven and soften up your opponents so they won't have any cards in their hand and they'll be playing off the top deck. Plus, if you can gain life, then once again, that's the tempo action. You gain in life from Meathook Massacre, from Nixilis, and Sheoldred. We'll get to Sheoldred in a second. Long Reach of the Night. Once again, if an opponent sacrifices a creature, they have to sacrifice a creature unless they discard a card. So either they're getting rid of a creature or they're getting rid of a card in their hand. And they have to do that twice in a row. And so then when at the 3rd turn, you end up getting this 0/4 creature with Menace. And when it is attacking, it gets +4x +0 until the end of turn, where X is the number of creatures in defending players' graveyard. So hopefully they've been, putting a lot of creatures in the graveyard, because then your Animus here will be like a 4, 5, 6. and with Menace. And so therefore you've been doing something good along the way. And then hopefully, provided they're not playing a creatureless deck, you'll be getting someplace awesome with it. Sheoldred, the Apocalypse. So this is a real heavy hitter for this deck. It comes out of the new set, Dominaria United. And she is a 4/5, which is nice because unless they have, with that 5, it's really hard to blow them away with red, damage spells. Even black does a lot of, negative X's or associated with, creature's toughness. But they also have just destroy creature, which will take her out. White, destroy creature. So green, red, a lot of black. We'll have a hard time with Sheoldred. She only costs 4, and you're getting a 4/5 Death Touch for that, which is fantastic. And whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. So that means like every turn you're gaining 2 life. You're gaining 2 life, gaining 2 life. So she's like a Cosmos Elixir as well. And whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. And so that is also fantastic. So once again, she's a money ball player where you just kind of get one base at a time. In this case, you're just trying to get them to lose 2 life each time. If you're playing somebody who's playing like mono blue or red, where they're trying to like draw a lot of cards, Sheoldred is going to punish them like crazy. Here's Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, also from Dominaria United. Legendary, so it's good that we only have probably 2 of them in here. And her. Let's see, when another creature you control dies, you draw a card if it was attacking. If Sheoldred's out, you're going to gain 2 life out of that deal. If the creature dies without attacking, then Garna deals 1 damage to each opponent. So there you go. That's an extra point of damage going out. So Garna's dealing that extra damage. Sheoldred's dealing the extra damage. Like, let's just say you played Meathook Massacre and wiped out a bunch of Virus Beetles or Corrupt Court Officials. That means they're dying. And so because your creatures died, your opponent loses life from the Meathook Massacre. But they're going to lose extra life for each one of those from Garna, Bloodfist of Keld. And that's only 4. So this is actually fairly cheap. Lastly, we've got 1 Invoke Despair in here. That is such a travesty because in a black deck, Invoke Despair does so well. Now, it is 4 black to have to play it. There's a lot of black in here. It's mostly because I was choking in my playtests with being unable to get out Invoke Despairs. So I got it now to where if you can get an Invoke Despair, you can usually play it. But I only got 1 in there. I would love to put at least 2, but then we have to steal it away from someplace else. There's options. You can see what we got going on here. On the land category, we got 14 swamps, 6 mountains, and we got 4 dual lands. Yeah, because we have much greater need for black, especially at the beginning. We do have a little bit of red, but no more than 1 at any particular time until we get to Garna, in which case we need 2. And so by the time we're playing 4 mana, whatever. And if we're not getting getting her as a 4-drop, it's not that big of a deal. Because nothing in this deck is by itself a heavy hitter. The closest thing we got to that is Sheoldred. But it's all of it put together, which is making the deck as good as it is. Just take a look. This is an average 2.7 deck, and we're playing with 24 lands, nothing in the sideboard. So that's the deck. Let's take it out and see how well it works. Big Spartan. B1G Spartane. All right, I'll dig it. I'm okay with 2. I mean, I don't like 2. I've got plenty of mana in here. I don't know why it keeps giving me 2. Shut up, Shikaka. You know I don't like you around here. Go get him, court official. Bury him in paperwork and obligation. What are we seeing here? 1 mana of any color. Blue and white. I'll go for the Raven Man. I'll attack. Because now as long as we keep the Raven Man in play, we're up Court Official, Extract of Truth. Those are all going to do some pretty good stuff for us. As in, give us a Raven. And leave Shikaka over here hanging upside down from his ankles. You gonna try to get me? You playing a mill deck against me? All right, Shikaka. Well, we didn't get that third mana we're looking for. All attack. Go for it, Lotus. Yeah, this guy's milling. I'm thinking I might surgically go after him in this next turn. Oh, Jesus. All right, that's fine. Here we go. Yep. All right, let's see what do I got here. Yeah, he's trying to mill. I didn't think we could do mills. Good job. I completely thought we were without the ability to mill. We will go ahead and just kill this thing, because there you go. Can't do it. Those things are going to do us any good. Need another mana. I'm just going to play this guy, because why not? Gotta get a guy out of some sort. I'd love to get Sheoldred out. There we go. I'm a big, ugly bug, lady. I'm going to extract the truth from you right now. That's what you're doing, huh? Alright, whatever, man. Alright, there's still mill decks. Good for them. No attacks. Let's see, what's this thing cost to put out? Let's put out this guy there. And let's send him in for the... Yeah, that's good. Draw a card with his death. There we go, extract the truth. Love if this was an instant. I flashed good game too early. Blue deck trying to do tricksy blue deck stuff. Let's Sheoldred out. He can die when he draws his next card. And that should be it. Hey, he bounces it back. And we have victory! And we're playing against HubertVTuddle. 4 mana, thank you. Some nice discard bombs right there at the beginning. I like where this is going. Black. There we go. Come on, you can do it. Let me lighten your load, my friend. All right, so 3 is going to get us another court official. Is that what I want to do here? No attacks. No blocks. Let's see. Sheoldred. Yep, you sound like a good boy. No attacks. Go ahead and draw 2 cards. I appreciate it. You can draw a card. That would be nice of him. Something tells me his card draw engine is not going to do too well with Sheoldred out. Long Reach of the Night. You can start sacrificing dudes. Nope. No attacks. We're cool. He's got a lot of creatures. This may not go well for us. I got 20 life, though. Anything, I bet you Sheoldred's probably going to finish it all off by herself. You giving up what's in your hand? I bet you're just going to kill one of those green dudes. Let's go for Graveyard Lighter. Alright, so let's see. I've got not enough mana. That's cool, though. And everything over here is relatively cheap. I can wipe the board hardcore next turn. But for right now, let's just kill ourselves a Defiler of Dreams. Eek. That was bad. No attacks. Get what you needed. All right, so right now, if I were to wipe out everything that was 4 or less, I would have 1 creature. And those guys aren't really bothering me too much. I could probably win the game just on Shoulder alone. So let's go ahead and put out Ob Nixilis. We'll go ahead and take out that guy. All right, you're going to devil up for me here. You are going to plus up. You know what? I'm just going to Meathook this for 0. That way when the deaths come, I'll gain life like crazy. No attacks. Yeah, I don't need that. Yeah, the flying guy is our biggest hope for the future outside of Shoulder itself. Make another devil. And we win! Victory! Alright, playing against Bacondblchz. Bacondblchz. Alright, keep it. Meathook Massacre, Virus Beetle. Let's start off a little red. Black. Oh, Bacondblchz. That's what that is. All right. It's like playing a license plate game. This guy's... Oh, he's going to play some Virgin, maybe? Lay it down, baby. Maybe he's just throwing in the graveyard because it's so expensive and you gotta throw something away. He's just playing a standard Gruul game. This guy's actually pretty decent. I saw it last night. I'm the Gravelighter. Yoink. Looks like he wants that menace. I'd like to get another mana next turn. That'd be really nice. I cannot block. There we go. Long Reach of the Night. Alright, and on that note, I shall just attack because I can't block. He doesn't want to give up what's in his hands. He's got plenty of mana, though. That's 7. You can play everything with 7, man. That Gale Greeter's what you've been saving up for? Not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, my face right here. Doink, doink, doink. There we go. So now the little red devils just null themselves out. Alright, Infernal Grasp, that's kind of what I was secretly praying for. Yoink! And Portificial. What is all that about? Draw 2 cards. Alright. Let's make a devil. Let's make a devil. Now we're going to gain some life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Alright, so that is a 3. I can kill it with the Meathook Massacre, wiping out my devil. Let's just do it. It's coming. I'm dropping the bomb. You see it. You know that your professional face breaker is going to get her face braked. Let's go like this. -3, there we go. Got you to 2. Hey, you keep thrashing around there, Poop Dragon. I hear ya. Winner, winner, bacon double cheeseburger dinner. Alright, playing against my hero. 4-0-0-0. 3 mana, finally. Bunch of good control. I love it. Just need 1 more mana to be able to put out Garna. I'll start off with the black. That's fine. We're going first. That's good. Alright, Artificial! Extra mana. Is this just mono green, or are we seeing something else here? This kind of reminds me of a Simic. Oh, Gruul. Dead! I'll attack. 19 more turns to go. Alright, let's extract the truth. Let's see what we got going on up here. Ooh, this is the one that's the biggest jerk of them all. Next, I'll attack. 18 more turns. What do we got up here? Wolf Strike. Alright, Garna. I'll attack. I got one last trick. He's going to wipe you out, though. I know it. For long reach of the night, you just got to force the situation to occur. Okay, who are you giving up? No tax. Why did they already... What's the deal there? Oh, he did sacrifice a creature. I'm surprised he had to sacrifice 2 creatures if that was the case. Yeah, that sucks. No blocks. Alright, come on, deck. You're doing... Give me something good. That is something good. Thank you. Alright, 16 more turns. No attacks. What am I going to do against Trample at this point? No blocks. Oh, the deck left me down. No tax. You don't have to keep showboating, my friend. Just go for it. -18. Dead. Alright, playing against Pia, the Destroyer. We got 3. Let's keep it. Alright, I'm thinking the Raven Man's my next turn here. See if we can keep them alive for a second to actually get a single bird out of the deal. Yes, we get a bird. Well, of course, they have no creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers in their hand. Let's do the easy one first. No attacks. Alright, and we're gone. And the other greeters are gone. And I'll attack. Silverback Elder. That's a lot. Sholdred. Bird. I would love to. I'm going to get 2 more mana before I can do anything with Invoke Despair, though. Can't block with the birds, so that's not terribly cool. Raven Man has served his purpose at this point. And he's just gone. Alright. Need another mana if I want to kill off the other. There we go. What are we going to do? Let's start off with the birds first. And then we'll take this out for 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can only do 3. So nothing that can get good from this one. In turn. Need another mana. I'm going to have to take some hits from that 5 from that Elder. What's this just doing? There we go. Come on. You can let it happen. I'm just gaining back 2 life, that's all. Well, that's not enough for that. I need another black for the Invoke Despair. Anyways, we'll go to combat next. Bird. And we're going to Meathook Massacre for 4. And we're done. No attacks in turn. Oh, that's a lot of life back, though. That's a problem. That's a lot of life back. Jesus. No attacks. Alright, we're going to invoke some Despair. See you later, Rhino. Alright, I'll go ahead and feed Hubert while we're waiting. That's an interesting choice. If I attack now, I'll probably lose 2 dudes. No attacks. Not enough kill. I'm just gonna chill is the problem. What is this gonna do? Listen to these two. I'm worried that she's gonna have some sort of +1 in damage. Alright, we win. That was a bitter victory, but I'll take it. Alright, so here we are with, well, it's called Forget Me Not. It's, I think I'd like to qualify it as being a RAKDOS tempo deck. Because what we're doing is we're, in the early game, taking out, discarding as much as possible, while in the mid game, we're focused more on the money ball hits of taking out just a lot of little tiny nicks along the way. Sheoldred seems to be pulling the vast majority of the work to get the person down. But we have a lot of other cards that'll help get things that way as well. We do have a number of creature removal spells in here, so that will help us to maintain board state. And it's been a fairly decent deck. This version of the deck has got a 75% win rate at this time. Who was the real hero here? It was definitely Sheoldred. Sheoldred was definitely the way to go. I still think I'd like to put together a deck that combos are up where you force the opponent to draw cards, and they will lose a lot at that point. But, I haven't built it. I haven't seen it. It's coming. I'm sure it is. So let's give this deck a rating. Okay, so number 1, is it competitive? And let me see. I have a 75% win rate on it, but I'm not sure that this is going to climb the ladder at all. I'm not a ladder climber, so I don't know if I'd consider this to be a competitive deck. I'm just going to put this into the B category just because I think this is more of a fun thing. Secondly, is it a fun deck? And for me, the answer is yes, it is a fun deck. I love coming out and forcing them to discard cards that they've been planning on playing. I love having, bombs that come in and blow creatures up. Hidetsugu takes out like all of their treasure tokens, as well as any sort of other creature tokens, anything like that. Oh my, that is so glorious. Problem is Hidetsugu is slow if you're trying to use it for something other than its first ability. You have to wait for it to get around to beat creatures. So that's why I reduced it from 4 to 2 at one point a while back ago. Anyways, Raven Man, being able to get out some Ravens anytime that a discard occurs. And the fact that you can use him to force a discard at 4 mana is pretty decent as well. So, yeah, I mean, this deck has got a nice balance to it. It's not all focused on just discard. I like the fact that it kind of softens people up at the beginning. But it's a fun deck. So, lastly, is it interesting? And once again, I think the reason why it's fun is because it is interesting. I like the fact that it does multiple things. It has certain phases to it, and that it gives you options. I think the most frustrating thing about this deck is that you don't have like any big muscle creatures. So you're really focused a lot on control. And if they can just keep the creatures coming, then you have a hard time defending against all of it. And yeah, so then it gets to be kind of rough. I mean, you can get lucky. It's just that they can overwhelm you. So as far as the way this deck is, I'm going to give it an A, just because it is really fun and interesting. It's just that I'm not sure about the competitiveness about it. Like I said, my win rate for it right now is really good, but it's just going to take time to determine whether or not it's actually a competitive deck. And by competitive, I mean wins enough that it would win like, I don't know, what's a good number? mid-60s or something like that on the regular over a large amount of plays. So only time will tell, but I'm going to give this deck, what did I say, a straight A right now? Yeah, not an A+. So if you so choose to play with this deck, I hope you have as much fun with it as I did. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.